must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
It is ridiculous and it is against the laws of nature that we can have somebody sitting pretty who takes home more money than the credible entrepreneur who is doing actual production of goods and services.
We always say it as it is.
It is only in this country that when a thief is arrested, you hear elders from their tribe saying, "He is our son and he is our thief."
If you are deviant and I call you leader,
Yes.
probably you are already a leader, but you are leading in the wrong direction.
We want to see the role of the youth
Yeah.
in the security,
Yes.
governance,
Yes.
and development.
The youth that I meet and work with here, you know, we call them the millennials and X's and Y's, this and that. They don't necessarily want to live like their fathers and grandfathers,
Yes.
do business like their fathers and grandfathers. They're more independent, they're better educated, and they're the ones that are making everything move in this region.
We look at the issues, we talk about issues that impact people's lives in Africa.
The African peoples themselves continue to cheer bad leaders, and because they cheer them on, they continue to be misled.
Let me ask you, doctor, would you rather be somebody who does not enjoy so much freedom but you are rich?
Yes.
Or you'd rather be poor who you are actually imprisoned by the poverty itself?
My goal is not to come here and say, I want the majority ownership, I want to own this, I want to own that, I want to do this. My goal is we all make money and we're all happy, and I help build a big business here.
Punchline is for Africa, with Africa, from Africa.
Good afternoon, viewers. I want to take a few minutes in the Africa School of Thought. I want to say a few points regarding the situation of the Chief Justice in the Republic of Kenya. The Chief Justice is part of the governance of the people of Kenya. He is one arm of the governance of the Republic of Kenya. The Chief Justice has never convened or tried to convene a meeting between the President, the Speaker of National Assembly, and himself to find out the weakest link in the fight in the governance of the people of Kenya. It is therefore very shameful for the whole Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya to use a platform, external platform, to announce a regime change proceeds using the platforms of international civil society to dismember the government of the Republic of Kenya. As a Pan-African, I feel sorry and saddened by the events that are taking place in the judiciary of the Republic of Kenya. The President or the executive has done its best. It has given the funding that is needed to fight corruption. Every time the agencies that fight corruption arrange, indict, and deliver a suspect in the courts of the Republic of Kenya, the same judiciary that the Chief Justice represents, the same judiciary that the Chief Justice says it is very perfect, releases these people, at times on flimsy reasons, blocks the route of justice, obstructs justice. The case of the former Deputy Chief Justice, Lady Mwiru, who was found who should have taken a plea, but because of the problems that the judiciary has and the weaknesses, the incompetences that the judiciary has, the Lady Justice Mwiru was allowed to petition the DCI and DPP's application and a charge. She never took a charge, a plea in the normal courts. Of course, the events are much bigger than what we see today. It is sorry state that the Chief Justice is the one who can mention about the failure, yet the word failure is actually associated with the judiciary of the Republic of Kenya. Everybody in the judiciary knows, every Kenyan, young or old, knows that there is a problem with the Chief Justice. I take one example. For the Chief Justice to talk about the nullified elections, that dynasties collect themselves in kingdoms, in business entrepreneurs win an election, shows to you that he has something that is against the current administration of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. I therefore call upon the international community not to listen to the side that actually weakened the fight against corruption in Kenya, but help the Kenyan people to fight corruption. Because the weakest link, which all of us know, is the judiciary in Kenya. If the Chief Justice was pleasing the civil society funders, the NGOs that gathered in Oxford, let them hear this message, that it is him and him alone. It is his incompetency, the lack of direction, the lack of leadership, the poor leadership qualities, the lack of pointing out the mistakes in law. The law itself that the Chief Justice talks about is the one to recommend which type of law. He can also suggest to the other two arms of government that the laws in Kenya surrounding cases of corruption are weak. But as usual, he has been a weakest link, remains a weakest link. Who is plotting, who is planning, who is trying to execute a foreign instigated plan against the Jubilee government. Thank you very much, viewers. That is a statement as far as the situation of Kenya is concerned. The Chief Justice, therefore, is plotting a coup, a constitutional coup, because he is trying to blackmail the leadership of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you very much, viewers. God bless you. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa TV, broadcasting all the way from the Republic of Kenya. This morning, we are going to touch on a number of things that affect Africa and especially the Republic of Kenya. This morning, viewers, we are determined to make sure that Africa shines, Africa moves, Africa enjoys, Africa talks, Africa solves all the problems that we have. We are the most gifted continent with a lot of land, fertile land, rainfall, most gifted continent without patterns of permanent snow or permanent snow, permanent winter, permanent summer. No, we are gifted. What ails us? What makes Africa not work? That's what we want to look at this morning. Viewers, this is Good Morning together with Miriam. Those who want to follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, we are there. Just tick www.punchlineafricatv.com. You will see us in plenty. Thank you very much, Miriam. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Dr. Matanga.
Thank you very much. I'm all right, and I had a nice evening rest last evening. Mm-hmm. I went, but I couldn't come back because the meeting, the person made me wait for 2.5 hours. But later on, I ended up in my usual task of handling what we call on another show in town called the Political Diaries. I think in the Political Diaries, the debate was hot, was very clear about visa bans that American government has given to Kenyan people who want to fly to US to do some business, to do some things. If you have any corrupt trace or allegations, or clear them. If your name is being mentioned or whispered, remember Americans have CIA men on the ground here. They have their men of its security. Don't say they will not know. So by the time they refuse you the visa, they would have known that you are one of those conduits who has been siphoning money to your children. So they will know, and they will back up. One of the things that we want these Americans to do, make these things public. Because Kenyans need to know who has been denied a visa, except visas that are private, like you are going to visit your relative. Don't show us those. But visas that concern corruption, visas that talk about corruption, let Americans make the list and give it to Kenya government to publish, gazette it, so that your children can know, so that the old people voting for these corrupt people will know we are voting, but this man is corrupt. He might not travel for some meetings in some parts of the world. There you will be helping us. But America, just to come and say they will give visa and keep quiet with the list back in their offices, doesn't help us, does not help us at all. So thank you very much. I want to introduce the topics this morning with me, Miriam, as usual, from German. Our satellite will pick us later. It has a problem, but it will pick us on the way, and we shall be navigating all the waters up to Berlin, and then from Berlin, we shall be sending up back the system. So thank you very much. I don't know what has happened with satellite. The engineers are working, I don't know, on it. It will work. Miriam.
Yes.
The topics today
Yes, the topics that we're looking at today, the first one, of course, in Kenya, the legacy rocks on, and then the handshake, the best option to chaos, and also is Kenya militarizing politics by forming political militias. And after we've had the African news headlines, we'll go to Diaspora Dispatches, where we look at is Africa silent as DRC, Nigeria, Cameroon, and Libya bans. So we have a lot in store for our viewers today. I hope you can keep it here so that we continue having these conversations together.
Thank you very much. We begin with Kenya. The legacy rocks on. Uhuru Kenyatta is a man one has to keep as a friend. If you want anything in this country today or in the future, you must keep Uhuru Kenyatta as a friend. Therefore, how do you keep Uhuru Kenyatta? Help him to build the legacy. The people who are not helping him cannot help themselves, because they might not. He is not going to be there. There are too many. There are several examples. Several reasons as to why Kenyatta is very needed. You need him if you want to pass. You need him if you want to know the matrix of 2022 politics. You need him. For you to disrespect him now, you are the most stupid man, derailed mentally, equilibrium is not there, you don't know what you are thinking about. Because he's the kingmaker. He's the man in government holding an election. This Africa. It's not UK, it's not US. So, if you are going to denounce Uhuru Kenyatta today, call him names. Call him all the types of things that you call, which people are calling him. You are the one who is losing, not him. Kenyatta does not lose.
But also some leaders over, I think after what the president said on Sunday during their Corino convention at Kasarani Sports Stadium, and some, of course, the leaders that were seen to have been targeted by that speech came out to say, you know what, we made it in parliament by our own votes. We went and sought out for this vote. So the president did not make us win these elections. I don't know how you would respond to them. They think they can make it. They don't need president's backing.
Can I tell you what? You remove President Uhuru Kenyatta's portrait and allow them to go to vote. Voters will not turn up. It's like removing, if you are removing Raila Amolo Odinga's portrait in those areas of Luo Nyanza and Nyanza, nobody will vote. When Raila said don't vote, they didn't vote. Honestly, the politics here has not reached a level where you say you can detach a leader from yourself, that you stand by your own. How many of these MPs can stand on their own? Can Moses Kuria win a seat in Gatundu without Uhuru, without endorsement? Can he? Can Alice Wahome? She struggled even to come through as a Kandara MP. The other man was just, boxed out. Let's speak the truth. People, the party headquarters said we shall take Alice.
So she was allowed the nomination.
Yes.
For the party ticket.
The party. And it is Uhuru, not you. Why didn't you win it first? Look at Alice Nganga. It went into a Fika, you saw. It was tough. Fika constituency. Because once you don't use the leader's name, you don't go through.
Okay, that is in the party nominations especially.
Even in party, not only party nomination, even in real elections. People in Mount Kenya came to vote because their son, Uhuru, was under siege. We have to talk the truth. If you ask any of those voters whether they understood the manifesto of Jubilee, most of them will say, yes, we don't want to read it, we see the picture. So for you, as an MP, to come back and say you have a member of parliament, you come back and you start talking about that I can pass the parliament without anybody. You are rubbish. Honestly.
Okay. So the legacy rocks on the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta.
It is. The legacy it is. You can't stop it. You either work with it. If you want to win a seat, you better work with it. If you want to become the president of 2022, work with Uhuru Kenyatta. Less than that, because 2022, the matrix needs Uhuru Kenyatta. Believe me or not.
Uhuru Kenyatta, he seems to be losing his salt, if you could be very honest, especially from his backyard. The recent...
Is it losing the salt or people planting apathy?
Yesterday, I was just having a conversation with one of the supporters, actually several of them, home, and they were saying, no, you know what, don't tell us about corruption. This country, since the time of Moi, the country, people were stealing, Moi Kibaki, people are stealing, and right now, people are being stolen. Even if you elect Ruto, he will still steal and the country will still continue. So they are okay actually voting for him. Those were people from President Uhuru Kenyatta's backyard.
They are okay voting for who?
For Ruto, actually, in the next elections. But these are...
Nobody has refused anybody from voting. Ruto, you can vote him 100 times. But is it going to... Does it need him to intimidate people? That's nobody has said Dr. William Ruto should not be voted. Is it the right time for you to stand and talk about elections when the people, the president, the manifesto that you put forward has not been, accomplished? Let the deputy president start working with the president. Let him respect the president. The president has just said, please, no elections, full stop, no campaigns for now. Give me a hand so that I can be able to finish up what we have. We have so many things: poverty, indebtedness, there's debt, there's ballooning wages, there is quite a lot of things. And instead, you hear every Sunday, every Saturday, they have found something to do. It is very painful.
It is, but also I think those rallies they've been having over there, I think have really they've been able to reach out to some people very well. He's done his job there. So it's sort of the influence of the president in his own backyard right now it's 50-50. So the president has to do something about it.
Look, whether the president is 50-50 at the moment, there is nothing he worries about. I'm telling you. And anybody who thinks that the president will worry now is, you see, the president wants to finish his term.
Yes, I think and
leave it. The Ruto issue can be solved. You don't know who is going to come in a matrix.
3 years is quite a long time.
Yes, you don't know.
Yes, we
can pretend here, but we don't know. There could be a candidate who could be more powerful than even Ruto.
And even Kenyans change within a night.
Yes,
so
there could be.
3 years is such a long
there
time.
Could be a candidate.
Possible.
You read Professor Kagwanja's analysis. You've read it?
No, I've not.
Yeah, you better.
Yes.
To understand, there could be a candidate. Yesterday, Professor Kagwanja, why 222 may have a surprise candidate. There could be. And you are wasting time. Your friendship, I agree with Kagwanja. Your friendship with Ruto, with Uhuru at the moment is more important. Forget about these social media people telling you a lie. The people in that mountain and the central, they don't vote social media. The people there are like, it is only people who have not read comparative politics in Africa who can talk about Uhuru losing it. Uhuru is not losing it. Now what ordinary people there, they will come and say, who is he? What does the boss say? They are not going to vote. What does Ruto say? They will say, what does the boss? Where is he? Which position he is?
You know, after the handshake, and even I see here Kagwanja mentioned that the realignment between President Kenyatta and Raila Odinga sort of changed the political dynamics in this country, and also the handshake really changed so many things and perception of Kenyans. And like when you go to my people right now, they're saying even if Raila goes and becomes the presidential candidate, they're not so much into we have. You know, they don't feel like they have to vote for him, because they realize politics, there's only political interest. There's nothing permanent there. So we cannot be like we want to die and lay our life for somebody, while they realize politics is just politics. So that also has changed, I believe, across Kenya. So people are not looking at these political leaders the same way we used to look at them, because one moment you're being told this is your enemy, the next moment they're friends, and they're seeming to move on very well. So Kenyans are starting to realize it's just politics. So we can actually vote for anybody we feel that we want to vote for. So that's a loyalty that was there, especially for a person like Raila, President Kenyatta, or even these other leaders. I think it's Kenyans are beginning to look at politics differently, and maybe, who knows, 2022, that will be a surprise, the same way Kagwanja there has mentioned. So Kenyans are becoming more informed every day. So they will not just go because this is my king, this is my tribe, and I'll just vote for them blindly. No, even in Nyanza, when you go, there's some constituencies where people refused the ODM candidates, and I know even my own governor, we were forced to have him. We did not want him, and we were forced to have him as an ODM. So Kenyans voters are becoming very enlightened every other day. So we don't know what will happen in 2022. 3 years is a lot of time in politics, so we cannot say exactly that right now somebody might have chances of winning in 2022, because it's such a long time. And anyway, the president's priority are in the right place. He wants to serve the people of Kenya, so the politics should just stop, and the president allowed to do what he wants to do to Kenyans. So I don't think he's even bothered about this political. The only thing that gives him sleepless night is now when this politics derails his agenda for Kenyans, and I think that is where the president is coming in, trying to talk to these politicians and tell them to just calm down the rhetoric. Because
let me tell you,
yes.
Miriam, there's no politics here anymore of goodness. There's politics of cheapness. There's politics of people fearing that if we don't vote Ruto, the Rift Valley will be on fire. That's stupid. And I want to tell you, anybody reasoning that way is very stupid. Anybody now in Kenya cannot start cutting anyone. Knowing, especially amongst the leaders now, what we went through with ICC, it's going to be very difficult though for you to go. The politics of this country, Miriam, has not started. I don't know how many times you will hear me. It hasn't started. Politics and the voting patterns of this country changes. It changes very dramatically, and it is going to change. It is too early for you to throw your money. It will change. The people who have read political science, like Professor Kagwanya Matanga, are telling you, just hold your horses. You can't pretend that you know you want to start a team, you want to wear a uniform of this, put hustler t-shirts.
It's early.
It is too early.
It's very early, yes. It's very
Let this man be told the truth. And those hearing on his behalf, hear it. It's too early. And you antagonize your friend who could even be your friend in the future. Help you. If we start this, then you are the same person in the same government. People are going to ask, you promised us stadium. Where is it?
People are asking, not you.
Yeah, where is the stadium? Then
asking.
now, those people in the Rift Valley or in the mountains who are saying, we shall vote Ruto, isn't he the same one who stood in Kasarani and told us about the stadium? Isn't he?
It's the same leadership.
Can we play the video And you see. So what are you voting? What are you voting? That's why Kagwanja in his statement here, Frank, if you read this one, you go straight home and sleep. There will be a new matrix, a surprise candidate that Kenyans will not want to listen to anyone at all. So the best thing, if I were the deputy president, I would do one thing. I would work with my boss. And we die together. You get my point? And tunakufia pamoja. Badili ya kata to cut yourselves. You see, if they cut themselves in two pieces now, the weakness, the enemy comes in.
Yes.
So that's the only advice. It's not anybody is against the deputy president. No way. I am not in my heart. For what? He doesn't feed my family. He feeds his family. He doesn't give me money. Why should I be annoyed with him? I was on this earth before him. Why should I be annoyed? I get annoyed because God produced me much earlier? No. Let's be very honest and tell him the truth that it is not time now for you to part away from your boss. Help your boss to do some things because the enemies are ahead there. The clouds are ahead there. Yeah, they are warning you quietly. Surprise candidate. Walai among. You will need Uhuru to neutralize that surprise candidate. Be careful.
Yeah, there'll be major political
yes.
Yes.
These youths who are shifting ground, who are saying this, that, they could actually decide to dump everybody. That's why the legacy of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is very important for you to help Uhuru to succeed in his project, to open up, work together. Don't run away from him and go and get some young MPs, one-term MP, to be harassing his out. He doesn't know. A man who was going out to beg 5,000 shillings is now insulting everybody because you have given him money. A man who was begging to work. Can I come to your studio and do a show? Here he is insulting everybody because he's now driving a V8 and with a bodyguard. That is not the way. That's what is annoying people. That's why people go to the extent to say, if the president is very quiet, what is going on? Demeaning his stature, issuing statements, making statements. The governor, the whole governor of Kiambu running to say, we for us in in Central, we are with you. You and who? This is the talk that people are looking for. This is the talk, the legacy. Uhuru wants a united Kenya so that a Luo is not looked at as an obstacle. So that a Kalenjin, a Kikuyu, a Maasai is not neutralized because of the two tribes fighting. Please, that's what Uhuru is seeking today.
United.
Just help him to unite. Just help him. He hasn't said all these suggestions that are coming about of referendum. Uhuru has not said so. Let's defend the truth. We have a debt to pay. We have Chinese on our necks. Tomorrow they could say we want the money in 1 month. As Kenyans, we must be prepared to pay their money because we are not going to slaughter them and kill them. They are a superpower. We went and borrowed their money. If we go on politicking, if you politic all the time from morning, from Sunday, from church, from dungeon, from nightclub, from restaurant, how will you work to make money? You saw what was happening in Khartoum. The clash between the soldiers were disturbed. That how is the nation going to produce? Sudan has debts to pay.
Yes.
The guys are on the street. They have refused to go. They don't want to come and mediate with us. So what is it? The generals went for them. Are they not talking now? They are talking. The generals can have repercussions, but they have saved the country from sinking low. The same thing, the president has done a good thing to give warning shots, and they should not keep off. There is no apology. You are head of state, that's why you are given that sword. You don't need to apologize to who? You guide the nation that direction to say, I don't want campaign on this platform. You are my deputy president, period. I don't think Ruto will go. Call him in the office. He will tell his lieutenants. Give Ruto is an office, is a presidency. Is a presidency. He was elected as a deputy along
the president.
Yes. So he should take orders from the boss. He is not the commander-in-chief. Let him listen to his brother. You see, the thing is being floated. Can't you read between the lines? What is TJ Kajoka and Peter Kagwanja? Professor, what are they saying? That's it. They know what they are saying. So you might be surprised. You are zero. You have wasted all your money. Maybe this money is free, as people are saying. It's too much, I'm told, in containers. Maybe. That's why. But the deputy president, please, just listen to your boss. Please, please, please. Just listen. Tell these guys who are spoiling your campaign to get off. Go together with the president to do these projects. Everybody will know who you are. Don't dismember the handshake. Don't be annoyed with the handshake. Because you don't know. Raila might not be interested. He might be interested in a better Kenya, where he can settle down and eat his money and relax. All these people are seeking protect their integrity. They are not seeking for power. When is the deputy president going to understand so that he stops sponsoring these guys who come to his office, tell lies? You know, they tell a lie that yesterday there was a meeting between Chibicho and Masanga. Yes, those lies. Boys have carried letterheads from government departments, and they are in the office there of the DP manufacturing these things. You have seen a letter circulating that Chibicho called people to go and meet in the Lambata Hotel. This is being done, and we know who is doing it. Some of us who have been with them, we know them. They have shifted from the president's office and they have gone there. They are the ones bringing trouble for the deputy president. They are killing his campaign. Such accusations, such fraud, such fraudulent letters. Someone writes a letter purportedly to say Kibicho wrote me, called for a meeting. You know what you are doing? You are killing. This is 3 years, man. You are killing your ground kabisa in the political science. I'm not an enemy. I'm talking as an expert and I'm helping, because Dr. William Ruto is younger than me by 10 years. 10 years. Good 10 years or more. He's 52, isn't it? Yeah, count my age.
More.
So I'm talking what he doesn't know. There is wisdom I have which he doesn't have. He has a title. So let him understand. I don't have any problem with him. The problem I had of ICC is finished. I have forgiven everybody. I did my job. They are out. Now let them now make themselves go in. The more we talk about these things, the more we are going to go in. And that is the position that I have taken. I will not be here to tell a lie. The president needs support now in order to pay off these debts, in order to pay debts that some people made him accumulate. While he was busy following the constitution, some people were busy looting. So let's go there.
And this is what a part of the Kangwanja, just a line here, he said that Uhuru's recent tirade targeting his deputy and his allies should be a wake-up call to Ruto, who has been on the campaign trail to succeed him. But, you know, after that tirade, that Kenyans were really, there are people who are really in support of the president, but their support wails away when they think it's not the first time the president has come out really angry at these people who are distracting his agenda for Kenyans. But that's all he does, is he gets angry. And do they expect any action from the president after that tirade on Sunday?
Yeah, let them try. This Sunday, let them go and do it. That's all I can tell you. If you didn't know, then you'll know.
Okay.
Yes. That's all I can tell you. Let them do it. It's up to them.
Over the weekend.
The president tomorrow is in the Rift Valley.
Yes, I have seen that here.
Yes. And let's see whether people who have been insulting him will pick a microphone and talk. Let's see.
It's on the it's on the the
please,
nation.
Please, if you want to enter this race, know there is a state. There is a narrow state, there is an inner state, and there is a deeper state. Ask where you belong. If you want to join politics, first weigh where you are. On a state, inner state, no, a state, a narrow state, inner state, and a deeper state. What does it mean in political science? Go and ask. After this, Google them. An inner state, if you are not even near there, don't start antagonizing what you don't know. The state is a state. It can be democratic. You can't go to Britain and start raising rallies and insulting the Queen, saying the Queen is very old, is this or that, all the names. The deeper state will come for you.
The deeper state.
Yes. Learn it. The deeper state, you can't go to Britain and insult the Queen. Even if they see you tear the money in public, the deeper state will arrest you. Go to London and sit in a bar and get the pound, tear it, and say, stupid pound. Do it. That is the place where there is democracy. Don't tell people lies here. Try to tear that money in London and say, I'm fed up, this country, this, that. Tear. And then you walk. Let's see whether you'll walk out of that bar. Kwanzaa, the people themselves, if you are black like me,
Yes.
they will do justice. As they do justice on you,
Yes.
they call police. That's now the deeper state comes. Or the inner state, which is police. Before the queens, the commandos, the SOs, the units, those elite units come for you. You can't do that. So when you are in this political life, you better weigh where you are. If you are state normal, it is democratic. But you can't go and insult. You know Trump is very bad now. The whole world, we talk about Trump because we are 10,000 miles away.
Yes.
Lakini, can you go to America and sing from one street to the other, say, stupid man, you in South Africa every day? People will stop you, say, hey, what are you talking about? With a loudspeaker. Can you do that?
No, you can't do that with the loudspeaker, yes.
They will arrest you.
But with Trump, it's different. Even Americans are it's different.
The Americans are talking.
Yes.
But some of them cannot talk beyond what talking is. That talking on a micro speaker in London, it needs a permit. The inner state must provide you a permit.
Yes.
You can't just start talking, the Queen is this, that, I hate May. May is stupid, or May is tall legs, or this, just in the public. You'd see somebody come and say, excuse me, can we talk a bit? You start talking there thinking you are ending there. The state has so many eyes and so many, people rely on the state to function.
So the president is planning a visit, and on the Daily Nation, the headlines, anxiety as Uhuru visits Ruto's bastion. And just days after a diatribe against the Tanga movement, President Kenyatta travels to the political stronghold of his deputy and the group's de facto patron William Ruto on a development tour, so tense that some State House functionaries do not want the host Kapsaret MP member of Parliament Oscar Sudi anywhere near the microphone. I would agree with that.
So look, John Clark agrees with me.
Yes.
You have seen what I'm saying is true.
John Clark.
John Clark says, you can read it there.
He says the president did not go on his DP. The president was on some stooges like of Moses Kuria, and that is true. Kuria lacks respect for the president who got him the votes. Yeah, we've seen that from his actions before.
Yeah. The president endorsed Kuria. Kuria went on a rampage of telling lies in deputy president's office in order to get money. Kuria is the one who bought witnesses to fix Ruto. Moses Kuria bought witnesses and coached them to go and say Ruto is very bad. And today, the deputy president has even forgotten that this is the man. He made him. He grew him up, thinking that he's the one who made his case to go. That's why you see some of us are not very happy. Kuria came from nowhere, talked lies about some of us who had worked so hard to make sure that these cases go down. So today Kuria is more recognized than the people who worked hard to make sure that the deputy president and the president don't go to jail. And now, after giving him very little money, he goes around to say, I want to be a president. President of what? If you can't manage CDF money, how can you be a president? And do what with the presidency?
Yeah.
So that is the situation.
Yes, that is
the
situation.
Thank you. The other topic was...
Yes, is Handshake the best option?
It is the best option, indeed. And the best option is we support the Handshake.
And is Kenya militarizing politics by forming political militias?
The Handshake is the only alternative that you can have to chaos.
It is. It is that.
If you
80% of Kenyans agree to that. 80% of Kenyans.
John Clark is saying the truth today. I agree with you. That's what is happening. The deputy president himself has brought this trouble to his doorstep. He has entertained people who wanted to kill him. And he has gone to hate wrong people. The best people who worked hard for him, he doesn't like them. He likes wrong men who came up and said, I bought witnesses for 2,000 shillings to fix you. You think that man cannot buy witnesses in the future to fix you? Can't he? If he bought them. We went with Kuria. What annoys me about Kuria, we went with Moses Kuria to ICC. He never told me he bought witnesses. He never, in the plane, he never told me. When we went to greet the deputy president outside the ICC. Bring your hand. I will show you. Like it is. Someone, bring it, let people see. Bring, like it is. As if, then from that day I said there must be something wrong.
That is how he greeted the deputy president.
That's how he greeted me.
That's how Moses Kuria, or the deputy president.
Yes, when he got out of the ICC court, we waited outside to say hi to him.
But you were there too.
I was with him. No, I've been working on this case without knowing the undertones. Then I arrived there, Moses Kuria, Mgatana, We stood outside there. We wanted to say hi to the deputy before he goes to his hotel. He greeted me like this. Just like that. Here, showing he doesn't like me.
Okay.
I swear, from that day I came back, I did not give up. I did not give up. I came to Nairobi. That same day, Moses Kuria, Mugatana, and I, we said, they had come in the morning. They said the flight is there. Yes, let's go back. Ask Mugatana, he's a witness. Ask them. I went to my hotel nearby the ICC, collected wrapped things, put in a car, hired a vehicle. We went to the airport. We found Kenya Airways was still, there was time for us. We managed to get a flight. I upgraded them to business class. I came back. Moses Kuria swore. He never told me he was one who brought witnesses. No wonder the deputy president was greeting us badly, thinking that now these people are enemies, they are here.
Yep.
Ask him Gatana, ask him more. That day, I was shocked. I came back here and I said, this is it. I was told, no, go ahead. Rule 68. Rule 68. When it came to 68, the deputy president told people that Matanga should not appear there at all. I found my own money and I flew in the same building. The person they took was in Ngunjiri. This man, Wambugu, that he knows more about ICC than Matanga. Can you imagine the pain I've gone through for this guy?
But he did not want you to do that for him. You can
yes, but for me, I was not doing it because I had a contract with him. No, I was doing it because I knew Ocampo from Uganda. Ocampo was very bad. That if I allowed him to succeed on the Kenyan case, he could walk away with crime. Yet in Uganda, he came and took Luos and left Bantu. You get my point? That is my push to get Ocampo fixed. And I got it. Today, I am on record for having done it. Now, in the conference, you saw me fighting. The man, the deputy said I should not appear there. I went there. He was shocked. Ngunjiri was refused entry. This Ngunjiri here, they brought him from nowhere that he was better than me. Yet he doesn't know anything. And this was the man harassing them. You saw the articles he wrote. I never wrote any bad article about this man. So the only problem is I'm a Ugandan, but God will help me. Thank you. One day I will have a nation. That's the truth I'm telling them today. Because he wants to hear. Hear it from my mouth. That your people record this for you. And ask Kuria if he didn't swear in the plane that he will never do anything on ICC. The next thing that I saw was Kuria on national television telling people that he bought witnesses. And he's busy with the deputy. They made money. He was given money. He was a pauper. He was a pauper asking for lunch. Lunch money in town. So the guy made his own money. He groomed him back, gave them money. Where they were getting the money, I don't know. So I have a lot, which I don't want. Everybody saw me in the ICC struggling with Gradual Otieno tearing their t-shirts. The man, they didn't want to go. Isn't it? With another guy called a man with rotten teeth. I don't know what he is. Rotten teeth. What is his name? Used to be a journalist. You know him? I
can't remember his name.
He's a journalist. He used to be in the Standard. He tried to stand for Nandi seat. That one, very useless. Those are the people spoiling the TP's communication agents, which is bringing all the turmoil you see here. You can't get letterheads and be writing things of that nature. That Kibicho was holding a meeting. Where did Kibicho? Where? Can somebody from the same meeting write it to you? Where? These are fictitious things. Have you seen that letter circulating?
I've not.
It is a very bad letter.
They were saying who was
that Chibicho and called ministers from Mount Kenya to sit down to fix Ruto and eliminate him. This type of things, these are things that you Kenyans, let the president stamp authority over this. Because it's going too far. Someone has manufactured, has got letterheads, access to government letterheads, access to government Twitter handle, access to all this. We made these boys sleep. I have told you there's a hacker here. People have not arrested this hacker. If it means one, we lost money. The same hacker was on Facebook telling us there was no money lost. If it means two, there was no money lost. Why Guru? No money lost. This one, no money lost. Jamen, don't we wake up? Where are the agencies?
Okay, so yes, so one of the other topics we had today is the Kenya militarizing politics by forming political militias. What we're seeing right now, there's been a lot of groups being formed. I see here now Wanjiku
Indeed.
Takataka, which
wait first, yes, before we go. John Clark, you are right. Moses Kuria went and fed information, but he's catching up with him now.
He's been very quiet. Why do you think?
Yes, he's catching up with him. He went and told lies. But I'm now telling the DP to listen. That incident at the door of ICC, that is what Moses never told us there was anything. Mugatana is my witness. Danson Mugatana. It's me who took Danson Mugatana. I told them, follow me. We are alone in the assembly of state parties. We are alone. If you come, we can make a good group. When we went to, it is exactly. These are the people who have confused the deputy and the president. Moses Kuria is part of it. He's the one who went there and took lies there. Another group took lies there. And they have made this relationship. And we are going to end up to go the same way. I'm telling you. Yes.
Okay. Let's see just how that will play out. Yes. So do we just just a minute before top of the hour? But the Kenyan have militarized the politics. Politics is not just politics. It's in Kenya. It's taking a form of a political militia. What's your take on that?
It's true.
The way we're seeing the politicians.
Yes, you see T-shirts, people forming T-shirts, forming groups, calling themselves hustler. You know, we are forming political militias, which is very bad, similar to that of Rwanda. Are we preparing? You see, people, you know what? If I see a youth wearing my T-shirt without my consent, and they say I love Matanga, don't I get worried? You don't know what the youth does the other side. This is not campaigning mood.
With that T-shirt on.
Yes. You don't know. Youths of that nature, enemies, can use those guys and go and kill people, throw the T-shirts on the place, isn't it? Then they will come to you. We are forming political militias here. They are here. There are several groups. All these things are appearing in the photographs. This forming is we are tending to go to a political militia game. Form my group so that tomorrow it can defend me. We are forming exactly what is in Kampala. Have you seen the NRA sticks boys? Those who used to whip people in the streets of Kampala.
They're called stick boys.
Yes, with sticks, cane.
Okay.
Yes.
They were allowed to whip people.
They whip opposition people with canes.
Okay.
People allowed those type of things. So these tactics are being imported from Kampala to Nairobi. You see so many t-shirts mushrooming. 200 youths gathered in Voi, another group gathered in Fika, another group is going to Narok. This is the militia. This political militia here. And we have to be very serious and tell the government to watch out. Our role is to say the truth. And I, as an leader, I cannot keep quiet. We are forming political militias. What will stop these guys from being given guns or pangas or machetes? What about if people misuse them, go and murder people in order to fix to which hand a candidate?
It's possible. It's possible.
It is possible in Kenyan politics. Jamen, if I were the one whose youth are wearing my t-shirts without my consent, I would tell them to get them off. That is how good leaders are shown. You watch, this is going to come. It is going to come. That people will go and murder people and put the t-shirts there. That the people who came here, you only need 1 or 2 survivors to say the people who came here were wearing t-shirts with Matanga's name
on it, yes.
And that's the end.
Yes.
So this is all bad manners in politics of this country. I'm sorry.
And should really stop. Yes, indeed.
Thank you very much, viewers. That is as far as Kenyan politics is concerned.
Yes.
We now switch on to Africa, or we take a break. And when we come back,
yes,
we take a 1-minute break. Miriam takes on Africa news, and I take one break also. I want to take on a serious debate, a very serious debate.
On Africa Diaspora Dispatches.
Yes.
Yes.
Of why is Africa silent?
Yes.
Why is Africa silent when Libya is dying? Democratic Republic of Congo is dying. Nigeria is dying. Cameroon is dying. And all these countries are dying.
Yes.
There is war. Why is Africa silent?
That's
a topic
yes,
that you don't need to miss.
Yes.
You'll see the people, the key players behind the death of Africa.
Yes, indeed.
I am happy to, I didn't tell you, I was in a meeting, but I watched your topic last night.
Oh, in the afternoon?
Yes, it was fantastic.
Yes.
The analysis you did, thank you very much. You are learning very fast from my footsteps.
Thank you.
And I
missed you.
And I will ordain many things on top of that. You did very well.
Thank you.
Yes, you spoke, you hit the points that I was watching with some friends, and that was very good. Okay. But we shall look at that after the break. Let's have another short break. I want to call upon the people of Abazonia today, wherever you are in the diaspora, in Abazonia itself, that in a struggle you are bound to have divisions. But divisions should not divert you from the main focus, the main challenge. We have struggled to expose the happenings, the human rights abuses in Abazonia. The army has killed hundreds and hundreds of thousands, burnt houses of people, internet was cut off, schools were closed, dispensaries, hospitals were burnt down. Abazonians should not be intimidated by Paul Robia. It is not upon the leaders of Abazonia, because I am not from Abazonia, but I've played a pivotal role in making sure that I loud out the voices, I put out the call, I call upon AU, EU, United Nations, Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International. Many of them have listened to some of the things that I say here, and they have come at last. America, United States of America, is slowly moving towards giving the Amazonian people the dignity they deserve. I therefore call upon the leaders and the leadership of the Amazonian people to unite for a purpose. The unity of purpose is paramount as opposed to disunity, which has nothing but only produces ego that we have seen in South Sudan. What has killed South Sudan is not because they don't have the money, the minerals, the resources. Is ego between Riek Machar and Salva Kiir. We would not like to see that ego come to the people of Amazonia, the leadership of Amazonia. I call upon Samuel Sako, Akanga, Milan, and Eko to unite and talk with one voice on international scene that will bring about the peace, the tranquility that you yearn for since 1961, when the Resolution 1608 was abandoned by the United Nations General Assembly and Amazonia was annexed by the Cameroon government by then. I call upon you, my brothers, to pick up the unity call and free your people without disintegration. Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome back to our second and last segment here with African news headlines, news that make headlines in Africa, and that behind the scenes of the headlines. We are aware that the football is only one day away. Kenya kick-starts it. The football starts tomorrow.
And there's been another football going on, remember?
Yeah, let's get the one on the continent of Africa.
And the Women's World Cup, Dr. Batsanga. Yes. So
I have been very consistent on this question of
women's
football.
Okay.
I've told my sister that leave sleeping dogs lie.
Well, there have been great things over there.
On the question of women in football, I am not concerned. I don't know. If the world itself does not know, who am I to watch my TV with my power from Kenya Power PKPLC and watch what I don't know?
Do you use more power watching them? Or it's just
I will use power to watch AFCON.
Okay.
AFCON from Cairo.
It starting over the week?
Tomorrow.
Yes. The opening ceremony.
The opening match is between? Is it Egypt and?
I also chose not to.
No, the opening match is between Egypt and Kenya.
Is it between Egypt and Kenya?
Yes. Okay. 21st is tomorrow.
What time is it?
I think the Kenyan match is tomorrow.
What time?
Kenya's match is on Saturday. Anybody there who knows about this football, please bring the timetable. It is their production team. The Kenyan match is on Saturday. What I know, the jerseys people have bought already, and I'm looking for one which is my size. I've not found.
You can get one from town. Those are shops in town.
There is no size.
There is. I've seen.
We don't have one my size. Why didn't you buy? You go there with the car.
I did not know you needed one.
I needed one my size. Okay. The biggest size I don't have.
Okay.
In fact, tomorrow I would wear it. I would do it here on top. I needed one.
All right.
Are you sure the size is there?
There is in town. When you go looking, you'll find.
Miriam, I give you the... They said it is 3,000 something.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I saw them. So tomorrow, the African nation goes down ground zero in Cairo. The African news comes, and we shall have our correspondent by name Nganga.
What do you mean, Nganga?
Alice Nganga, right from Cairo, will be corresponding for us right from Cairo. Our correspondent right in Cairo, she is in Cairo right now. From tomorrow, we shall be having her live on phone into the studio, telling us how Kenya people are behaving. She is right there. Punchline Africa TV moves, does miracles.
Okay, that's
Yes,
good.
we have contacts everywhere in Africa. Why not deal with us and you deal with
The rest of the world.
yes, the rest of the world? You are a man, they are carrying journalists from here. We have, for us, we have journalists on the ground plus our satellite, which will turn into Cairo with Alice Nganga, bring it down to Nairobi. Thank you very much. Alice Nganga, get prepared. I know you are watching. You are 1 hour behind us. Get ready for the opening ceremony tomorrow. And I'm sure several African heads of state, including President Uhuru Kenyatta, would be there
Yes.
on Saturday.
Oh, he'll be there for the.
Oh yes,
That is great.
that's a match
Yes.
we should see.
I should go look for snacks for Saturday.
Yes, and do what? Popcorn,
Eat. I love not popcorn.
snacks.
A lot of them. Eat while you watch. That's the best part of when you're watching something.
No wonder you don't like football. Football you don't. It is only snacks are eaten in the cinema.
No, you eat snacks while you're enjoying a nice sport. That's
Snacks are eaten in cinema. Popcorns are eaten in cinema.
that is the time to enjoy a good guacamole.
You just want to eat kamoli when
A guacamole.
you want to eat it because you hate football.
No, it makes me enjoy it more. That is the best part, the eating part.
Because nobody's, you are not going to force people to like the women sijui nini. No. What is that thing called what?
See, we're talking about the AFCON now.
Aye.
We've returned back to France. Anyway, this is what
That
is happening.
women football.
It's
What in the
wonderful.
world?
You should just take 5 minutes of your time. You'll never regret. It's wonderful. They're doing a great job there.
Thank you very much, viewers.
Yes.
Those in Nigeria, those in Cameroon, those in Libya, and those in Democratic Republic of Congo. Keep your televisions open now. We are coming in the next 6 minutes or 7 minutes. We shall be with you on those countries. Why is Africa silent? Take it away, Miriam.
All right. So, good afternoon to you from Nairobi. Now it's 14 minutes past 12 here, and this is the latest from Africa. And the head, when we start with Sudan, and the head of the ruling military council in Sudan has called on the opposition protest movement to resume peace talks. In a speech on a state television, Lieutenant General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan urged the forces for freedom and change and all political powers to hold talks with the military council. It is not clear if they are ready to resume dialogue, as there has been a deep mistrust of the military ruler since security forces opened fire on peaceful protests 2 weeks ago. Doctors said more than 120 people were killed, and the authorities insist only 61 people died. And we go to Egypt, where Turkey's president says he'll try to ensure that Egyptian government faces trial in the international court over the death of ousted President Mohamed Morsi. He collapsed and died while on trial in Cairo court for spying. Turkey's leader Tayyip Erdogan said Morsi was killed and did not die of natural causes, contradicting Egypt's public statements on the death. And in Zimbabwe, the U.S. has told Zimbabwe that there is an urgent need to hold security forces accountable for acts of violence earlier this year and last year. 6 people were shot dead in August 2018 as opposition protesters complaining about the election result clashed with security forces. At the beginning of the year, local rights groups said at least 12 people had been killed and many more beaten during demonstrations triggered by hike in fuel prices. The U.S. top diplomat in Africa, Tibor Nagy, has tweeted that he brought the incidents up with President Emerson Mnangagwa. And we go to Tanzania, where in a rare security alert, the U.S. Embassy in Tanzania has told its citizens there to take precautions after saying there was rumors of impending attacks in a tourist area of the main city, Dar es Salaam. However, the embassy also said it has not substantiated evidence of the threat of information or the timing responding to the warning. Police Chief Simon Siro said he was aware of the rumors and that the police are following up with them. We go to Ethiopia, where authorities in Ethiopia's capital Addis Ababa are banning motorbikes from the city's streets as part of an effort to reduce crime. The administration believes that a rising number of thefts are being committed by people on motorbikes. And we move swiftly to Burkina Faso, where the authorities in Burkina Faso says militants have killed 17 people in a village in the north of the country. Defense Minister Serif Sai said an armed terrorist group carried out the assault on Tuesday night in the districts of Tongomayel. And we go to Niger, where gunmen have attacked a police station on the outskirts of Niger's capital, Niamey, and killed 2 officers, says AFP News, quoting a security official. The news agency says the track on Tuesday evening by suspected jihadists was the closest to the city yet in a long-running insurgency. And in Kenya, 3 men, Rashid Cheloz Mberesero, Mohammed Ali Abikar, Hassan Eddin Hassan, have been found guilty of conspiracy to commit the 2015 attack on Garissa University, in which 148 people were killed. They were found guilty of belonging to the Al-Shabaab Islamist militant group and will be sentenced, and their sentence will be on 3rd July. A 4th man was acquitted of both charges. Yesterday's judgment will offer little, if any, reprieve to the victims and their families. There will, however, be a sense of closure for a case that has dragged on for 4 years. And Uganda Health Minister Jane Ruth Aceng has told lawmakers that there is no Ebola anywhere in the country apart from that which was reported in Kasese, located in the country's west. And we go back to Nigeria, where an investigation into the disappearance of 6.8 naira, which amounts to $22,000 from a zoo in northern Nigeria, found it had been taken by armed robbers, not eaten by a gorilla, as widely reported in local newspapers. And we go to Malawi, where Honorable Catherine Kotani Hara, a lawmaker with the main opposition Malawi Congress, MCP, has been elected Speaker of the country's parliament, becoming the first woman Speaker. We go to South Sudan, where the country says it intends to borrow more than $500 million from the Afri-Exim Bank to pay salaries for public servants and fund infrastructure projects. The Minister of Information and Government spokesperson, Mr. Michael Makwei-Lueth, said the cash would also be used to bolster agriculture and facilitate the peace process. Speaking at a cabinet meeting in Juba on June 14, 2019, he said South Sudan will repay the loan within 4 years. And still in South Sudan, at least 2,000 SPLA soldiers are reportedly starving in Amadi after they ran out of food supplies. According to the Deputy Governor of Amadi State, the men and women are stationed at Giri Cantonment site, a move that is in line with the new peace accord. In February, the Joint Defense Board tasked the security arrangement, issued an order directing all forces to report to the designated site. And we end up with Ambazonia, where the Yaoundé Military Tribunal has adjourned the case against the detained Ambazonia leaders to July 9th, pending the delivery of a verdict in an appeal filed by the accused at the Court of Appeal of the Center of the region. So that is the latest from Africa this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Miriam Ogotu.
Thank you very much, Miriam, and thank you very much for the All African News. Thank you very much, all of you, for watching us on African News. This is Punchline Africa TV. We now switch on to our main topic of the day, the last segment of our news. Is Africa silent as Democratic Republic of Congo bans, as Nigeria bans, as Cameroon bans, as Libya bans? Is Africa silent? Are we silent? Are we seeing an Africa going down? Thank you very much, viewers. I will start with an introduction, and probably I will tell my production team to take the chip from there. Today, thousands and thousands of Africans and many countries in Africa have conflicts. Notably, from Libya, Cameroon, Nigeria, Biafra, and Boko Haram, to Democratic Republic of Congo, of where we have seen a resurgence of the past military and conflicts coming back in that country. Hundreds and hundreds of people have been displaced, killed, maimed, tortured, raped, several of them dying of hunger, starvation, and other natural causes. The fighting seems not to be ending. For the sake of Libya, the Libyan recognized international government is under siege in Tripoli from another faction recognized by Egypt, France, UAE, and other countries. Whereas the one in Tripoli is recognized by the UN, it has been bombarded, has been strangulated, and many millions of Libyans are dying of hunger, lack of water. The water system has been cut off. The bombardment goes on. In Democratic Republic of Congo, we've seen more of active rebel activities returning to the region after some silence has been observed. When we come to Cameroon, we see millions and millions of Amazonians slaughtered. Yet, when you come to Biafra, again millions and hundreds of millions and millions are worried, displaced, tortured by the Buhari regime. Yet again in the north, we see Boko Haram killing, maiming, abducting, and burning down villages in the same Nigeria. When you cross over to Central African Republic, the same is the history that has littered Africa. While all these events are taking shape, Africa is silent. Africa is not making enough efforts to find a solution to what is causing the problems in Libya, in DRC, in Cameroon, in Nigeria, Biafra, and now you add in Khartoum, Sudan. As people die, the people of Africa have no answers, have no solutions. There is nothing to bring an end to the conflicts that have killed Africa. We seem to be new ones manufactured, old ones reignited, encouragement coming from external powers. One power that has been seen in the shadows of all these conflicts, especially the one of Libya that has escalated in the Sahara region of Africa, is France. When you come to Democratic Republic of Congo, the same country is in the shadows. The war can be seen is France. When you come to Cameroon, in Amazonia, the one behind that has the key to bringing peace is France. Therefore, our question as Africans, why are we silent? Why are we not saying enough is enough of the wars? Thank you. Thank you very much, viewers. we now come back today, that topic with that opener.
Yes.
Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people have been forced out of their homes. The United Nations Refugee Agency expressed in Democratic Republic of Congo, people, the situation is going from bad to worse. Attacks between two communities had also displaced 350,000 in 2017 and 2018, killing about 300 people. Why is the world silent, Medium?
The world has been silent, and especially the African Union, you would think this would be one of the things they would want to address in the DRC. These killings happened, 350,000 people between 2017 and 2018. And now refugees some in the world. And just yesterday, while I was in the morning, I think we had an update during our morning show, about 3,000. Uganda has received new refugees from the DRC, 3,000 of them. And Uganda is still hosts the biggest number of refugees from South Sudan, I believe, followed by Kenya. So what kind of burden now is Uganda? You're forced to burden to take some of these problems from countries that AU probably would have intervened in good time, and the leadership in good time, and the rest of African leadership in good time, to ensure that the problems do not split to other countries, because the problem of refugees does not just affect that country that the refugees are running away from, but also the countries that they go to seeking for a safe haven. So so far, even with the new conflict that is happening in the northeastern parts of Congo between these two warring communities, nobody has said anything. And starting even with the leadership of the AU, nobody has come out to condemn. Nobody has sent any delegation there to find out what is the problem. Even the government of President Tshisekedi have not seen any statements. We only see the army yesterday was sent to take care of a mine that is owned by the Chinese in that country, to protect that mine. What about the lives of the DRC Congo people?
Thank you very much. That is DRC Congo. Nigeria. Many Igbo people feel marginalized in their own country. The Biafrans have taken up a stand. They have demanded for their referendum. For almost 4 to 5 years, Buhari has never changed his stand against the Biafran people. The killings in Biafra continue to happen, despite several agencies saying it has gone beyond the level of barely being an accident to a genocide. We see that genocide continuing inside Biafran areas and the southeast of Nigeria. Africa is again silent. The supporters of the Biafran independence are from Southeast ethnic group, and which numbers to about 29 million people, or about 14 of the country's population. These are great.
29 million.
It's a full country. Two countries of Burundi.
Completely.
And you add Burundi and you add Rwanda.
On top of that.
Yes.
And maybe they'll not even make up that
no.
29 million.
And yet, in Kanu, for example.
No, the leader, Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
Who spent years.
The leader, 19 months, he spent 19 months in prison. Without trial, released or escaped in 2017. Later, according to IPOB, the Nigerian army raided his home in Abia State, where Abba is located, and killed several of his supporters. The army denied that the raid took place. The man left.
The man left.
For the country. Today, as we stand, Nigerian government, it has no shame. It issues a warrant of arrest for a man who was only demanding that his country, his people be given integrity, dignity. His people given the right to self-determination. His people given all what other international agencies want to be seen in a country. That is what is going through. A warrant of arrest deposited
is on him right now.
Yes.
And before that, before him running away from Nigeria, he had spent 19 months in prison. Can you imagine that? So it's not just that was the leader of. He is the leader of Biafra, and he's the one who's being molested like that. So you can imagine what Biafrans go through on a daily basis, and we're here every day reporting of the deaths, reporting of the police raids, reporting of the police molestation that happens across Biafra land. So it hasn't stopped even after Nnamdi Kanu fled from Nigeria in 2017. It has not stopped. It continues, and right now the government is not relenting. Actually, if you're seen with anything that looks and appears to be supporting Biafra, you are a very soft target, and the government forces will come after you. So it's a very worrying situation right now for Biafrans who are in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. That is Nigeria. The situation, yet Africa is silent. Mm-hmm. We go to Cameroon. The Yaoundé military tribunal adjourned its case again mm-hmm. against Amazonian leaders mm-hmm. who were arrested on 9th July last year pending delivery. No, it was adjourned to 9th July mm-hmm. pending delivery in an appeal filed by the accused in the Court of Appeal of the region. Mm-hmm. But for the last 3 years, we have been on this television station. When the conflict ignited itself, Biya blocked money, stopped internet, closed dispensaries, hospitals, schools, courts, mm-hmm. everything was closed. Mm-hmm. We told the world that there's a problem in Cameroon. Mm-hmm. Africa has been silent. Africa kept on being silent. Even when we raised that a number of people are being killed on a daily basis, it turned out to be a one-side show that the Cameroonian army comes to exercise genocide. Today, that situation has become unmanageable.
Yes, and of course the leaders, the detained leaders of Ambazonia, they have been refusing to go to the Yaoundé court because one, the proceedings of the court proceedings are not done in a language they understand because they use French, and second, they are feeling already marginalized in those courts, and so the leaders they have been boycotting going to court, and they were asking, can these proceedings be made in public because the judge wanted it to be done in a very secret chamber, so they were asking that can these court proceedings be made in public. So for a long time now, it's been being postponed one day after the other, 1 month to the next, because the Ambazonian leaders did not want their court proceedings to happen in camera. They wanted it to happen in private. They wanted it to happen in the glare of the public, and also for the court to use a language that they would understand, because when you use French and you talk English, we are not going to communicate together. So those was just some of their demands. So yesterday they were taken to court, yesterday, but also the court was also adjourned to the July of 9th. So that is what has been happening in these Yaoundé courts when it comes to the Ambazonian leaders.
Yes. So there we are. The situation again, Africa is silent. Mm. So we move on to Libya. The Libyan warlord Khalifa Haftar, who controls eastern Libya, has never disguised his ambitions. Mm-hmm. Once Muhammad Gaddafi's right-hand man, he returned from exile because he has a USA passport. Mm-hmm. When the dictator fell in 2011, attempted to launch a coup 3 years later, repeatedly declared his intention to take Tripoli, and I said that this country may not be ready for democracy.
So that is Haftar. He declared Libya is not ready for this democracy. These elections that the UN wants to happen by the end of this year, can you believe that?
Yes.
Haftar came out and said, no, we're not even ready for democracy. We need to get, apparently he wants to get rid of some Islamists from Tripoli, yes.
So when you look at the events of this nature, mm-hmm. all these are happening. The AU and Africa is silent. United Nations organized peace conference intended to lead elections. He destroyed the mute hopes of political solution more than 200 people, 260 people have died already, including civilians, and many more wounded. Around 32,000 people have been displaced. The United Arab Emirates has been particularly very enthusiastic provider of arms and the military and the money. Egypt is another backer with a lot of money, logistics, planes. Most shocking perhaps is that while France claims to be a mediator, it has repeatedly bolstered him, clashing with other EU members, in particular Italy. You remember the Italian government told France that enough is enough. Get out of Africa, you have milked them enough.
Yes.
But France also seems to have believed Mr. Haftar's hyper, which casts him as a Sisi-like strongman who can unify and stabilize this country, clamping down extremists, stemming the flow of migrants from it. You know, they have gone there thinking that Haftar could be like a Sisi.
Yes.
A Sisi who is killing people, butchering people, becoming a butcher house of Africa. Yes. Stemming the flow of arms is a priority. The UN has put an embargo on this country. There is a real risk of Islamic State taking advantage of the chaos in Libya.
Yes, but also the UN embargo that the UN has put since 2011 has been repeatedly, nobody has been following that, and we see it has been breached over and over and over again with countries like France, with countries like Egypt, the UAE, and other players in this scene. So, of course, Italy and France, these two countries, they have a particular interest because, remember, Italy is the former colonizer of Libya. So they have invested heavily when it comes to the oil in Italy, in Libya, and they have a very keen interest. So them even pointing out at France, which some of the allegations are really true, out there for the public to see, but also both these two countries have special interest in Libya. So they're just fighting to protect their own interest at the end of the day.
Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you. And that is, when you look at all that, Africa is silent. Africa has kept silent. It continues to keep silent. It continues to not engage other people, not engage to find the solution, not to engage to find an ever-ending peaceful way of resolving the conflicts. We are having more and more chaos coming into our region, our continent. The next thing that we want to look at is that article of the US telling Zimbabwe. The situation in Zimbabwe is so precarious that the United States of America, Secretary of State, Assistant Secretary of State, came to Maputo for the African-US conference and told the Maputo government, people in Maputo on the sidelines, he met Mnangagwa and told Mnangagwa to start punishing the soldiers who killed
the protest.
Allegedly. Can we ask, why is US not punishing the soldiers who kill people in Afghanistan?
They even refused for Fatou Bensouda to go in there and start a case against the soldiers.
I want to leave it to there.
Killed people.
We shall discuss that tomorrow and see the implications. And we can now see the hideous acts of the United States of America against the people and the government of Zimbabwe. Thank you very much, viewers. From me in the studio in Nairobi, and Miriam in the studio in Nairobi, she will speak for herself. From me, Charles.
All right, we'll see you in our next broadcast. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Viewers, good morning. This morning, I want to address the issue of Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy. The legacy of His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya keeps on moving, keeps on going forward and forward. Since the handshake in 2018 that brought about the peace, the tranquility the unity or purpose, President Uhuru's star has been rising. All over Africa, people are thinking of using the model that Kenya used to stop any form of violence, chaos on the streets after elections. As you know, all of you are aware that elections in Africa produce two things: after or before or after the voting. Disputed elections, winner takes it all, loser doesn't accept the results. But the Kenyan model takes us miles and miles away from the normal type of democracy. The democracy, a negotiated format, a consensus format. A democracy that gives consensus a chance. A democracy that talks about the future of a country, the unity of a country, as opposed to a fragmented country, polarized country, where most African countries find themselves in. We have seen in the last 10 years or so, most of the elections in Africa have been contested by the opposition. Very few people in Africa, countries in Africa, where opposition has conceded defeat and come up to congratulate the winner. We have seen the South African model has worked very well. The Ghanaian model has worked so well. I don't see any other country in Africa where the models have worked well. I thought it would be Sierra Leone, but today we see Sierra Leone going back to the same ethnic tensions, as you can see from the reports that are circulating in the international media and the local media. So elections in Africa are contentious issues. They create a contentious position, create a departing point for the people of Africa, of that particular nation. The legacy of Uhuru Kenyatta, therefore, will be remembered for having brought the tranquility that we have today, the peace, the new format, the new tool of having a better organized civil Africa, an Africa without violence, an Africa without chaos after elections, when the opposition accepts to work for the interests of a nation, not personal interests. This has worked in Kenya, and thank you very much, Your Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, for the tenacity and the steadfastness that you have guided this handshake up to today. For those who want to mutilate the handshake, belittle the handshake, one lesson they should learn is to look at Libya. Libya was once a territory we all respected. It is no more. Let's keep the handshake and the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Thank you.